Like, what is your favorite sweet dish, I would say?
I really like the garam gajar. We are going to be presenting it to a few of our clients next week.
Okay.
So we come out with a very interesting mithai Sunday. Why should only ice creams are always fun? हमने मिठाई संडे बनाया. So we've done roughly अंगूरी गुलाब जामुन and motichur crumbs. We've created a Sunday out of it. It's all very interesting.
Welcome, Sanket, the founder of Scandalous Foods. With over a decade in the food industry, he is also known as the Jugaad King and is obsessed with solving industry challenges. Sanket is known for his innovative single-serve sweets that offer preservative-free indulgence, completely making the dessert market different and very revolutionized. His passion for sustainable practices and technology drives his vision to optimize the entire supply food chain. Sanket's story is one of grit, innovation, and relentless pursuit of improvement, making him an inspiration for aspiring entrepreneurs and the entire food and beverages industry transformation. So, I would like to begin with very general questions. Firstly, why the name Scandalous Foods?
So first of all, thanks Abhi for having me here. And these are some of the kindest introduction I've heard about myself. इतनी तारीफ की आदत नहीं है मुझे. और why scandalous? ठीक है, you've already hit the nail with the first question. So Scandalous Foods is actually an abbreviation for YS. Of course, we thought of that name because it also becomes a conversation starter. So Scandalous, for those who do not know, it stands for standardization, convenience, affordability, nil wastage, dependence on skilled labor, accessibility, lightning fast, delicious delicacies. So, yeah, I think a year and a half ago, just before starting Scandalous Foods, my my logo designer and I were discussing this, coincidentally he happened to be in Europe at that time. So शाम के कुछ 1:30 थे. So we were like, क्या नाम करना है, क्या नाम लगाना है. And then finally we said like, okay, let's make it a little quirky because we're a B2B company. So it always helps to, have an icebreaker within your name itself. So that's how the name Scandalous came.
Very catching, very interesting. And it's a very, like, someone who thinks about food, it's not usually scandalous. And two things put together, they make such a nice name. So I was very intrigued and I was very curious. So loved your, like, how you came up to the name. So I understand food is a very innovating and also very accessible industry in India. Like any food that you want, and anything that you want, it's easily available and at your doorstep by now. Like we've come to a point where everything is technology improvised. So what is your take on this? Like how easy has it become from earlier, or like when you had started Scandalous, and how easy and what are the roles of technology in it, and how do you feel technology is helping you?
So Savi, so there are two kind of technologies that I talk about in the food space. One is the actual technology that helps increase the shelf life in food, to improve the taste in food, to improve the texture in food. And then the other technology that you're talking about are actually technology enablers in the food space, right? Of course, these beautiful technology enablers like the Zomatos and Swiggies and Zeptos of the world have obviously made life easy for us, but they're enablers. They're logistic enablers that doesn't improve the food as a product. So I will first talk about the technology that increases the shelf life of the product or betters the product or whatever. So when I started back in 2011 as as a founder of Urban Spice, at that time, I keep saying India has just hit adolescence with food service and has hit infancy with food processing. So obviously there is still a lot of awareness that needs to come into food technology. But 2011 में तो और भी कम था. Now at least a lot of people in the restaurant industry have started accepting frozen as the new fresh, for example. There are amazing technologies like blast freezing, retort, freeze drying, solar dehydration, irradiation, MEP, etc. which help increase shelf life of the product, which help increase texture of the product, which help maintain the freshness of the product, and it more importantly helps reduce food wastage. Right? India throws more agricultural produce than Europe even produces. Right?
Correct.
I think it's only because हमारे यहाँ पे infrastructure is not in place. I mean, we
Hmm.
do not have cold rooms and cold chain logistics closer to the
Mm-hmm.
source. So many farmers, do not see the light at the end of the tunnel because this infrastructure is not there. So yeah, and I mean, in US, 63% of the food sold is processed. It's a product. In India, most of the food sold is a commodity.
Correct.
So I think India, where food service and food processing can do in 2020s and 2030s, what IT did in the 80s. If we move from a commodity to a product economy in terms of food. So I think that's where technology plays a very important part. In terms of enablers, I think there we're growing so well, right? I mean, in the last mile, there are these amazing tech enablers that have come into place,
Correct.
which have
Mm-hmm.
facilitated logistics at the last mile. In the earlier days, it was very difficult for me to start a business and deliver to you sitting at your house. आपको call करना पड़ता था,
Huh.
whatever. It was that kind of an era. And
Mm-hmm.
now it's as seamless as, you don't even know the restaurant that you're ordering from.
Hmm.
In 2 clicks, you order your food. You have choices. You're spoiled for choices, at least in the top 20, 30
Correct.
cities.
Correct. Correct.
So yeah, I mean those kind of enablers are there, but and then in the middle mile and first mile also, I think there's amazing work being done in supply chain.
Correct.
There
Correct.
is a lot of optimization happening in supply chain,
Hmm.
demand forecasting, etc. So
Last
I
minute
think
delivery. Yes.
last minute delivery, in fact, even the first mile. I mean, a lot happens before the last minute delivery, right? I mean, from farm to fork, there is so much
Mm-hmm.
that happens. So
Correct.
first mile, middle mile, last mile logistics. I think the biggest benefactor of tech enablers is the supply chain industry,
Correct.
which in turn supports the food industry. So I think both technology and tech enablers are so important to grow this sector.
You talked about the shelf life, and I think your specialty is frozen sweets and like basically preservation of sweets till a longer period of time,
Sure.
in very layman terms.
Yeah.
So, what was your motivation behind like breaking this myth that sweets cannot be preserved for a long period of time, or what was your entire idea?
Sorry, I mean, I realize that the mithai industry in India is huge, right? I mean, it's a very fragmented industry, but it's very
Mm-hmm.
huge. I call these guys pin code heroes. I mean, if you leave like the Haldirams of the world on the side, which are like giants and like
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
trailblazers in our industry, बाकी आपके पिन कोड में जो स्वीट शॉप है वो वहां पे बहुत पॉपुलर है बट एट द सेम टाइम आई वुड नॉट नो मेरे पिन कोड में जो स्वीट शॉप है वो बहुत पॉपुलर है पर आप उसे नहीं जानते होंगे
Correct. Correct.
तो एंड ऑल दी स्वीट शॉप्स आई रियलाइज आर टारगेटिंग सेलिब्रेशंस तो आप उधर दिवाली दशहरा रक्षाबंधन whatever आप तभी जाते हो and at the same time, I realized that chocolates have come from outside. Ice creams is a phenomenon of outside, and it's targeting impulse buying so well. Now we realize impulse buying happens at certain moments of consumption, right? I mean,
Mm-hmm.
and what is that moment of consumption? Usually, it's post meal. आप आपके घर पे शायद आपके दादा नाना के टाइम से देखते होंगे कि खाने के बाद कुछ तो मीठा चाहिए
कुछ मीठा हाँ करेक्ट
आपके पेरेंट्स को देखते होंगे कुछ तो मीठा चाहिए इनफैक्ट इवन ऑल ऑफ अस after food, we end up eating a chocolate or a mint or something or a dessert.
गुड ऑल्सो
Good, yeah, कुछ नहीं मिलता है तो लोग गुड़ खा लेते हैं,
गुड
right?
हाँ एग्जैक्टली
Absolutely, absolutely. तो मैं realize किया कि मिठाइज are missing the bus by not targeting impulse buying. Then I was like, who's the best channel to sell sweets to the end consumer? So I realized it's the restaurant industry because आप वहां से खाना order करोगे उसके साथ you'll probably see a rasmalai, you'll order a rasmalai
करेक्ट
because you will want to end your meal with a rasmalai or a gajar halwa, whatever. Now we realize restaurants do not usually sell sweets because sweets are not available with a shelf life. आपको स्वीट्स इन हाउस बनाना है तो स्वीट्स उनका प्रॉब्लली 4 to 6% ऑफ द बिजनेस है उसके लिए वो लोग एक हलवाई को हायर नहीं कर सकते तो ये चैलेंजेस थे एंड दे वर सेलिंग आइसक्रीम्स बिकॉज इट्स वेरी इजी टू प्रोक्योर एन आइसक्रीम राइट वो स्टैंडर्डाइज्ड है 6 month शेल्फ लाइफ के साथ मिलती है फ्रोजन है उन्हें फ्रीजर में रखना है आपने ऑर्डर किया निकाला आपको दे दिया so we realized that if we could make procurement of Indian sweets as seamless and standardized as ice creams is, we are probably sitting on a huge gold mine. And हमने फिर वही किया. We gave Indian sweets like gulab jamun, rasmalai, gajar halwa, mungal halwa 6 month shelf life. preservative free, and in single serve format. Because when you order from a restaurant, you don't want half kilo and 1 kilo. You
Yeah.
want like 2 pieces of gulab jamun, 2 pieces of rasmalai, 90 grams of gajar, that kind of thing. So that's exactly what we did, and we started this business with a gut feeling in August 22. And fortunately, our gut proved right. And, it's been about over 15 months. And I think we've sold nearly 2.5 million pieces of sweets. Our factory is in Nasik. And we're from Nasik, we're delivering to Bangalore, Hyderabad, Vizag, Bombay, and Delhi as we speak. We're working with some fab cloud kitchen players. Since we're a B2B company, I would refrain from naming them. But yeah, we work with some of the top brands there. We work with some really good wedding caterers. And yeah, and I think, we're just scratching the surface, right? I think sky's the limit with this.
Yes.
India eats out our orders in about 8 to 9 crore meals a day. And
Yeah.
we have a vision of serving a sweet with every meal eaten out ordered in. So it's a huge opportunity. Yes, hoping to capture a lot of it since we are first movers in this.
Completely. Even though, like, you get the first mover's advantage, but also this is very inspiring and very different from, like, your idea is very unique and very rare. And I think this is like a biggest inspiration or a very uh, setting thing for new upcoming entrepreneurs to understand the problem first and then come up with something which solves the problem.
Absolutely. So
So,
I think Sati, if you keep your ears on the ground, आपको आपका कस्टमर ही बता देगा कि उसको जरूरत क्या
correct.
है, राइट?
हाँ.
हमारे केस में हमारा कस्टमर है क्योंकि हम B2B थे, हमारे कस्टमर्स रेस्टोरेंट्स, केटरर्स, होटल्स थे. तो अब मैं बहरोज बिरयानी को जाके ये तो नहीं बता सकता कि आप मेरे से बिरयानी खरीदो, वो तो उसका
हाँ.
मेन काम है, वो ब्रांड ही बिरयानी का है. पर देयर इज अ हायर चांस दैट वो स्वीट्स आउटसोर्स कर लेगा क्योंकि वो उसका कोर काम नहीं है. So that's where we realize that there is a market here. So that's how exactly I think any entrepreneur who keeps his ears on the ground will find problems to solve.
Correct. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I would come to my next question.
Sure.
Amazing idea. You must have faced a lot of challenges also. And I would love to know the challenges you faced and how you overcame them, or what are the challenges that come on the daily basis, and what is the plan of action?
So, Sadi, I remember in 2019, I was facing like a huge problem with my earlier business. There was some operational issue with my earlier business, and I was speaking to a mentor of mine, and I was like, "What problem hai ye, whatever." And then, he said that, if in business there is no problem, there is no business. And if you think this is the biggest problem you're facing, then you should pack your bags and leave, because the bigger you want to grow your business, the bigger the problems you're going to face. So you have to be ready to face problems. There is no option with that. It's just that if you can anticipate the problem, you'll find a solution faster. So fortunately, because I got into frozen food in 2016 with Urban Spice, so I had a lot of experience with frozen food distribution. तो मुझे idea था. But उसके अलावा भी, because sweets was new for us, काफी challenges थे. So, in the initial days, I remember, we started we started manufacturing in Nasik and delivering to Bombay. So that was easier because it's 150 kilometers away. I remember, we became ambitious. We took on first consignment for Kolkata. We were sending a ton of sweets there. And जब वहाँ पे पहुंचा तो, कुछ 700-800 किलो टूट के पहुंचा. So that's when we realized that, we concentrated on the product, but packaging is as or more important. Then we started working on the packaging that, that is so, it's in frozen food distribution. The quality of your carton and inner carton and the quality of packaging, all of that is so important. And then we overcame that. Then, then of course, our industry, it's a known fact that, you have a problem in blue collar labor hiring. And I think that's something to do with, the upskilling problem in India, right? I think, we all collectively need to work on upskilling of the unskilled and semi-skilled guys. So yeah, these problems keep coming. And yeah, you just solve them on a daily basis.
Yeah, correct. To that question, I would like to add, what does a day look like at Scandalous? Like, how does the day go about at Scandalous?
I'll be lying if I say that हम लोग दिन भर सुबह गुलाब जामुन खाते हैं नाश्ते में, lunch में रसमलाई खाते हैं, शाम की चाय के साथ गाजर हलवा खाते हैं, ऐसा नहीं होता. Over the last 14 months, we built a good team. We've got some great ops guys, now we've added sales guys, there's some great production managers that we have. We have food technologists who help us, do new product development and all of that.
Correct, correct.
So yeah, I mean, if you go to Nasik at a production unit, there is method in chaos is what I would say. रोज वहाँ पे कुछ तो chaos होता है. On an average, currently as we speak, we're manufacturing about 500, 600 kilos a day. So yeah, I mean, they do their shit. There is, I mean, there are a lot of supply chain hassles that you go on a daily, you face on a daily basis. कभी आपका ट्रांसपोर्टर टाइम पे नहीं आता है, कभी आपका क्लाइंट का readiness नहीं होता है, etc., etc. And then obviously business development. So while we call this a B2B business, right? हम बोलते हैं B2B है, business to business है. I call it H to H. It's human to human, right? मतलब अगर मैं लीगल पे से बात कर रहा हूँ, मैं वहाँ पे सदी से बात कर रहा हूँ, मैं लीगल पे से बात नहीं कर रहा हूँ. स्कैंडलस लीगल पे से बात नहीं कर रहा है, संकेत सदी से बात कर रहा है. तो मतलब आई थिंक बिजनेस टू बिजनेसेस बहुत रिलेशनशिप बेस्ड होते हैं. It's very important to go out in the market, meet people, do all of that. And then because, I've spent a few years in the industry, I also feel that it's very important to, give back to the younger entrepreneurs. I mean, I keep remembering that 23-year-old Sanket when he started, like how much help did he get? So, today the 23-year-olds, if they get a lot more help, they will succeed faster than we did. So, yeah, I mean, so that's how, in a nutshell, Scandalous Foods looks like.
To that, I would add, how does your day look like?
I mean, currently I'm pretty much a part of Scandalous Foods. So most of my day is
all chaos and yeah.
No, I mean, thankfully, a lot of my team helps me stay away from chaos on a daily basis. But yeah, I mean, apart from this, now that we've got investors on board, I mean, we've got some lovely investors on board who've come on board in the last couple of months. So, speaking with them, then, figuring out next steps in terms of the next investment raise, figuring out new clients, new strategies, new channels. यही करते हैं.
Yeah, like you said in your previous answer about business development. So, what would your ideal marketing strategy be, and how do you think one should target the market, and how should one come up with the best market strategy that it reaches the perfect audience?
So, one of my investors had introduced me to this sales funnel strategy, right? So, I think all of us as startups, we get very overwhelmed by our product. We think हमारा product तो best है. I mean, you have to make a good product, but you are sitting in a country with 140 crore people. You are going to have competition. आज नहीं है तो एक महीने में आ ही जाएगा. So, it's very important to be focused. Keep your head down. You can't solve 10 problems. You are not born to solve 10 problems. There are 140 crore other people also born to solve. उनको भी solve करने दो. आप एक problem पकड़ो, एक challenge पकड़ो, उसको solve करो. Once you grow vertically there, then go horizontal. So I believe in vertical growth, then go horizontal. फिर उसको vertical grow करो, फिर horizontal. That's how you should do. So like in our case, what we've done is we've kept certain guardrails, right? कि हमें जो हमारा क्लाइंट होता है उसके मिनिमम इतने नंबर ऑफ आउटलेट्स होने चाहिए. So that is when he makes sense to us. He or she makes sense to us. Per outlet इतना revenue का scope नहीं है, तो we will very courteously bow out of that client because we are not ready to deliver to them. So ये सब चीजें हमें मतलब these certain things, every business will have their own things, right? So they should figure it out for themselves and do it. Like, I mean, of course, B2B business का मैं बोल रहा हूँ, B2C business का शायद बहुत अलग होगा. आप brand बना रहे हो, so you have to spend so much more money on building the brand, on getting the brand out there, competing with, I don't know, like 1,000 brands that crop up every day. So yeah. Of course. So that is how it is.
Because the market right now is very changing and there is a new trend every day.
Yeah.
So, and I feel marketing forms a very strong part of any business, any upcoming business.
Yeah, it's a necessary evil is what I call it. Like, today, even in a B2B, पहले होता था 4 साल पहले कि B2B business है, why should we be on LinkedIn? Why should we concentrate on digital marketing? But that's not true. Today, you have to be out there. You need to, I mean, so even though I'm not like the most active guy on like digital media,
Mm-hmm.
I try to make it a point to be there on LinkedIn because if I'm selling to the food service industry, only when they know that I have certain knowledge about the food service industry is when they will trust
Mm-hmm.
the product that I'm selling, right? So that's exactly what we try to do. So yeah, I mean, like I said, like, so there is no fixed rule for every company. I mean, every company needs to figure out their go-to market strategy, and and do a mix of digital and offline for this. I mean, there is no two ways about it. I mean, you can't say कि मैं एक channel पकड़ूंगा उसको करूंगा because sometimes you might end up spending 6 months on one channel and then realize कि
Mm-hmm.
ये तो चला नहीं.
Definitely. Hmm.
So that's how it is. But at the same time, don't spread yourself too wide
Yeah.
because yeah,
Because that will create a lot of problems also. You will be attracting unnecessary audience.
absolutely. And there is limited dollars that you have, so you might as well
Correct.
spend most of your dollars
Correct.
on two eggs, no, rather than spending it on 10 eggs. Yeah. So that's how it is.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Like, what is your favorite sweet dish? I would say, not sweet dish.
Yeah. So, I mean, up to because of tasting itna sweets ka liya कि now now it's become like हर Friday को कुछ तो something new is presented to us. So मतलब अब like a normal thing for me कि ये
Yeah.
रोज खाना होता है. अभी वो speciality नहीं रहा है मेरे लिए. But otherwise, I think I really like a garam gajar halwa. Is
Yeah.
one of my favorite
I think
dishes.
that is all everyone's comfort food growing up. Our
Yeah.
mother making it for us.
Yeah. And this is something very interesting that we tried last week. In fact, coincidentally, मैं शायद आपके channel पे पहले बोल रहा हूँ. मतलब अभी we are going to be presenting it to a few of our clients next week.
Okay.
So we come out with a very interesting mithai Sunday. Why should only ice creams have all the fun?
Yeah.
हमने मिठाई Sunday बनाए. So we've done rabdi, anguri gulab jamun and motichur crumbs. We've
Wow.
created a Sunday out of it. It's come out very interesting. So yeah, we very excited about how the people will take it.
Completely mouth-watering.
Yeah, I mean, I of course will send some of our sweets to you guys. I mean, you guys should taste them. Let us know how it is.
Perfect. Ideal situation for us.
Yeah.
We would love to have some sweets.
Yeah. Look
So,
forward to send to you guys.
yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Highly obliged and grateful. And one more thing that is coming up right now is cloud kitchens.
Correct.
Like, do you feel they are the future of restaurants? Because, like, we were talking about Zomato, Swiggy, Zepto, everything earlier also, and the entire delivery part and the entire logistics part. So, right now that food is very like you can get it very comfortably. Do you think that restaurants will see a backtick? I think they are still facing a backfall because of it. But do you feel that the future is cloud kitchens?
Yes and no, to be honest. But see, cloud kitchen is not like a new phenomena. We've been hearing it for over 7 years now, 7, 8 years now. So, I mean, of course, it's new as compared to time. See, but there are certain things that you need to. I mean, the way I see it is, India, I feel, is a more dine-out market than a order-in market, right? At least, sitting in metros, we've still taken to more ordering in because you've had a long day at work and then, you don't want to step out. But still in the beyond the top 8 cities, people still go out because there is still no traffic issue, there is still no parking issue. वो सब issues नहीं है तो लोग बाहर जाते हैं. Now there are certain other issues also with the cloud kitchen. If I keep that on the side, then there are a lot of other issues because cloud kitchens were created with the idea कि आप अगर एक रेस्टोरेंट में खाना खाते हैं तो वहां पे आपको बिरयानी 600 की पड़ती है. तो क्लाउड किचन आई मीन नॉर्मली 400 की पड़ती है. तो आपको क्लाउड किचन में से आप ऑर्डर करोगे तो उसका रियल एस्टेट कॉस्ट बच रहा है तो वो आपको 200 में देगा. Now what has happened is for a cloud kitchen to be relevant, he has to spend so much on digital marketing and commissions and all of that कि उसे भी आपको बिरयानी 350 में ही बेचनी है. So अभी कोई वो एडवांटेज नहीं रहा है of not being on the front, right? Like not having a physical front. I mean, so I think there are a lot of words for cloud kitchens. There is cloud kitchen, shadow kitchen, dark kitchen, all of that. I think most relevant word is shadow kitchen. So when it makes sense is कि आपका एक आउटलेट है, एक QSR है, let's say urban spice, and उसमें आपको वो आपका वो जो kitchen है can do let's say 300 orders a day. आप urban spice से 200 orders a day कर रहे हो, तो उस kitchen के अंदर से आप एक और brand बना सकते हो, let's say urban China, and उसको आप as a dark shadow kitchen आप Zomato Swiggy पे list कर लो. तो वो उसकी जब 50 ऑर्डर आएंगे तो आपका जो 100 ऑर्डर्स एम्प्टी पड़ा था किचन, वो उसमें से वो 50 ऑर्डर्स यूटिलाइज करेगा, तो एग्जिस्टिंग किचन पे वो ज्यादा अच्छा चलेगा वर्सेस इफ यू सेट अप अ स्टैंड अलोन क्लाउड किचन.
हाँ,
So I think that is how it is. And I think, I don't think cloud kitchens will take over dining, right? I mean, we are all social animals by nature. We will go out. So it will always go hand in glove. Who will be the hand, who will be the glove is too early to say. I think we'll know in another 4-5 years.
Yeah, like I completely understand what you're saying, and I completely agree with you because, like when we look at Zomato, when we look at the prices, then we feel like, अरे इतने में तो हम जाके खा के आ जाएंगे.
Exactly.
That is also there. So therefore, it's a very 50-50 kind of a thing. Like you said, who's going to be the glove, who's going to be the hand, is all on time right now.
Yeah, yeah. Correct.
And now that AI is like the most trending topic, so do you feel AI somewhere has made it easy? Like people can easily look up for recipes and make them at home also. That's also one thing.
Yeah.
And do you think that makes an impact, or are you not bothered by AI at all, or what is your lookout in the same?
See, रेसिपीज तो घर पे बहुत पहले से दिखती थी, मतलब पहले टीवी पे दिखती थी. मुझे याद है मैं मतलब मैं घर पे छोटा था तभी से देखता था, मतलब ऑब्वियसली शायद जो भी 2-3-4 चैनल होते थे वो टीवी पे तो आते थे. हमारी जो culinary advisor है, he's one of the top chefs on TV, right? Chef Harpal. He's very popular. The Namak Shamak.
Okay.
So these people have always been showing recipes on TV. फिर दलाल दलाल जैसे विजनरी लोगों ने बुक्स निकाली थी, शेफ संजीव कपूर ने बुक्स निकाली थी. अब क्या हो गया, अब आपके मोबाइल पे आ गया है, यूट्यूब पे आ गया है.
Very accessible.
Very accessible, I agree. So, but see, I mean, the thing is that recipes तो बहुत आ गई है, पर उसके साथ ना टाइम कम होते गया है. Like आपके और मेरे पास शायद 2 लाख रेसिपीज हमारे मोबाइल पे फिंगर टिप पे है, पर हमारे पास शायद पूरे हफ्ते में 2 घंटा होता है कि हम बैठ के लेजर कुकिंग कर ले. आज हमने वो ये शेफ का बटर चिकन देखा, हम बैठ के बना ले. वो टाइम ही नहीं होता है यूजुअली. So मतलब I don't think that will impact. I mean, if that was your question, I don't think that will impact. I think ordering out, eating out or ordering in will keep increasing. उसमें also what will play an important role is कि आपका जो आज आपके घर पे आके जो कुक बना रहा है खाना, वो आज शायद आपको एक मतलब 2 टाइम खाना बनाने का शायद 10-11 हजार रुपए लेता है. जिस दिन वो 5-6 साल में 25-30 हजार रुपए लेगा, a lot of people will start, ordering from outside, or start accepting these frozen foods and all. जैसे यूरोप यूएस में हो रहा है, वैसे ही हम भी करेंगे. Because so normally क्या होता है, person is willing to pay 1.6 to 2.2x the price of the raw material for comfort. मतलब आप अगर घर पे 80 रुपए में खाना बना सकते हो, तो आप 200 रुपए देने को तैयार होते हो to get that food ready. हाँ, ready. 160 to 200 आप ready होते हो, right? आज क्या हो रहा है कि 80 रुपए में खाना बन सकता है, आपको खाना 350 में आ रहा है बाहर. तो हमेशा उतना कंफर्ट के लिए आप 5x नहीं पे करोगे. तो जिस दिन ये 80 120 हो जाएगा या 150 हो जाएगा और ये 350 रहेगा, तो ऑर्डरिंग बढ़ जाएगा. That is how it is.
So are you planning to go to B2C also, or is it B2B only, or like?
So this year we will, at least not this year. This year we will stay B2B.
Any near future plans? Maybe?
Yeah, B2C aspirations we have. And we want, like, हम अभी single serve में serve करें, we want that to be our biggest portion. हमें उससे नीचे जाना है. So we are trying to create these motichur bites. We are trying to create a मूंग दाल हलवा cookie. We are trying to create a गाजर हलवा bar. तो ये जब चीजें डेवलप हो जाएगी in this year, maybe 24 के last quarter में या 25 में, we might dabble going into B2C.
That's a great idea, because I think individuals also, like I would talk about myself only here, like we crave for a lot of sweets. And so like when we check it on Zomato, it's very expensive, or we don't want to have a good portion of it. Like if you're living alone, like most of people in my age are living out of home and everything. So they would want a small portion, and your idea, like I have a fridge so I can preserve it. Maybe later when I crave for it again, I can make it again. So I feel B2C is also a very accessible and a good, and the bars and everything that you're talking about is, I think, the need of the
Absolutely. क्योंकि आजकल मतलब see all of us are going to commit sins. Gluttony is not going anywhere, but at the same time it needs to be, you just need to make the person feel less guilty. तो जितना छोटा बाइट होगा आपको, अगर
हाँ हाँ हाँ
मोतीचूर का इमेजिन मोतीचूर लड्डू इन एल्पेनलीबे फॉर्मेट, आपको आपने मोतीचूर का टेस्ट भी ले लिया और आपको बुरा भी नहीं लगा, राइट? एल्पेनलीबे
हाँ
खा के
हाँ हाँ हाँ
बुरा नहीं लगता. So that's our plan eventually. That's what we want. That's the thing.
yeah. So my next question would be about startups. Like, I think this channel was also with me with the idea of being an inspiration to the startups, as we also discussed earlier, that you would like to solve the problems of these upcoming entrepreneurs that are coming up. So, how do you see, like, what would be first the biggest challenges that the startup is, like, all the startups are facing in India? And also, do you see a good future of startups in India?
100%. See, I mean, India is born to uh, create, like, I think the biggest sea of startups, because I think
Mm-hmm.
Indians by nature are very resilient. We are very perseverant. जुगाड़ में तो हम लोग सबके खून में होता ही है. तो ये traits तो सही है. अभी मतलब now what the startups of today need to understand is that बिजनेस में प्रॉफिटेबिलिटी नाम की भी एक चीज होती है. एंड फंडिंग इज नेवर अनलिमिटेड, राइट? मतलब कोई भी नल आपको 24 आवर्स पानी नहीं देगा. आप नल भी, घर का भी नल छोड़ दोगे तो आपकी बिल्डिंग की टंकी खाली हो जाएगी. तो ये तो भी फंडिंग है, राइट? सो what I see is that, I mean, now they're still getting more mature. In between, I used to see a lot of these young guys who used to get into entrepreneurship were coming क्योंकि वो मीडिया में पढ़ते थे कि XYZ ने इतने बिलियन डॉलर रेज किए या इतना वैल्यूएशन हो गया. तो दे वर थिंकिंग दैट हम स्टार्टअप करते हैं फंड्स रेज करने के लिए. तो यू नीड टू डू अ स्टार्टअप फॉर द राइट रीजंस. आई मीन, raising funds is a byproduct of your business. You can't start a business to raise funds. That's a very wrong outlook. आपको पहले धंधा चालू करना है, उसको उसका एक मतलब मिनिमम वायबल प्रोडक्ट जो बोलते हैं MVP, वो बनाना है. यू नीड टू हैव बाइंग कस्टमर्स. यू नीड टू इंश्योर दैट अगर आपका प्रोडक्ट है तो उसकी मार्केट में जरूरत है, आपका सर्विस है तो उसकी मार्केट में जरूरत है. और उसके बाद there are two types of businesses. There are lifestyle businesses and scalable businesses, and both are super businesses. So then you need to also understand कि आपका business lifestyle है तो आप funding raise क्यों कर रहे हो. आप उसमें margins पे काम करो और अच्छी जिंदगी जियो. Because when you raise money, you have stakeholders, right, who you have to answer to. But yeah, I mean, if you think that your business is scalable, so then go all out. Then you need to go out on the market and like then you can't think as I would say resource forward. हम बहुत सारे हम लोग को बचपन से सिखाया जाता है जितनी चद्दर है उतनी पैर फैलाओ. नहीं होता है बॉस. आई मीन, इफ यू वांट टू बिकम अ बिग स्टार्टअप, आप पैर फैला लो, चद्दर तो बाद में हम कर लेंगे. So you can't think resource forward, you have to think mission backwards. मेरा मिशन है दिन के 2 लाख स्वीट्स बेचना. मुझे वहां से बैकवर्ड सोचना है. मैं आज नहीं बेच पाऊंगा, मेरे पास आज शायद उतना रिसोर्सेज नहीं है, उतना बैंडविड्थ नहीं है. बट वो बना लेंगे ना. मतलब हम उतना सोचेंगे नहीं तो हम बनाने की कोशिश ही नहीं करेंगे. अगर मैं सोचूंगा मैं रोज के 1000 स्वीट्स बेच के खुश हूँ तो मैं तो ऑलरेडी खुश हो गया. मतलब I should already then not do anything else.
There's no satisfaction, huh?
Yeah. So it has to be. So yeah, I mean, ambition is very important. That hunger is important, but at the same time, I would say enjoy your small battles that you win. मतलब ये मत सोचते रहो कि मुझे वो और जीतना है और फिर आप रोज uh, you can't be unhappy every day and then perform. So yeah, that's how it is.
And what is the reason behind the Jugaad King name?
ये क्योंकि Urban Spice grew out of doing food at events, so we became one of the bigger food OH companies in India. Done food at 2,000 plus events, sold 1 crore plus meals there. तो इवेंट में क्या होता है कि अगेन मतलब when you let's say go to a sunburn, you enjoy David Guetta and you think ये सब सही है, बट पीछे इतना chaos होता है, इतना ये होता है कि anyone working in such events has learned जुगाड़. But to be honest, like over years, like now in the last few years, I've realized that I mean, we've glamorized जुगाड़. ऐसा नहीं है. I think in a startup also हमें you need to get systems in the business, you need to get processes in the business. I mean, जुगाड़ starting में सही है, but आप कंपनी को 10x grow करके भी आप जुगाड़ करते रहोगे तो then you will have a problem in scaling it up in the right direction.
Hmm.
So yeah, I mean, yeah, have that jugaad cap there on the side, but don't wear it always. Like,
Correct.
yeah, balance it with processes, balance it with systems. So yeah, that's how it is.
Let's play a small game about, like, I will say one thing, and whichever sweet's name that comes to your mind first, you
Sure.
can say that.
Okay.
So, I will, like, one example, comfort food for you
Acha,
is,
like gulab jamun, something like that. Okay, got it. Yeah.
so something like that.
Yeah.
So, you've eaten something very spicy, what do you want to have?
I think rasmalai.
Okay. And you have had a very difficult day at work, so,
I mean, yeah, you have limited me to sweets, so I will not talk about beer. So I think differently at work, I'll stick to gajar halwa.
and like something has happened, so, like something that you expected to happen and has happened, you're very happy about it.
Uh, Motichur laddu
Yes, motichur laddu I think is
is
the
like
epitome of
the
happiness. Yes.
epitome of happiness. Yeah.
कुछ अच्छा गाड़ी लिया तो
बच्चा पैदा हुआ, गाड़ी आया, शादी हुआ, कुछ
any
भी हुआ, मोतीचूर लड्डू is always there. Yeah.
uh, something that you did not expect to happen and has happened and you're very happy about it then
तो भी मोतीचूर लड्डू मतलब कुछ भी
it's,
खुशी
yeah.
के साथ मोतीचूर लड्डू is associated with me और बूंदी लड्डू for that matter.
Hmm. And you are on a road trip, then which mithai would you like to have?
Yeah, I mean, I'm a fan of milk cake burfi also actually.
Yes,
Yeah,
agreed.
yeah,
We are, as Indians, we are such sweet hoarders and such sweet
yeah,
tooths.
yeah, absolutely. मतलब हम लोग कितना भी बोल ले के we're off sugar ये वो, I mean, you can't. I mean,
Mm.
I think I mean of course unless you are like a cricketer or something, आप
Hmm.
minimum once a month तो खाओगे ही मतलब however careful you are of your waistline or whatever.
I
That's how it
think
is.
sweet is the best guilty pleasure and it gives us that comfort and everything that we are looking for.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So I think, do you have any questions for us, Sanket?
No, in fact, yeah, it'll be interesting to know, despite being a legal firm, from what your name sounds like, what was your thought behind doing these webinars with entrepreneurs? Like, what made you do this?
So we are also a very, not very new, but a very new startup.
Sure.
And we had a very diverse mind of coming up with ideas and making ourselves out in the market,
Mhm.
wherein we talk about a lot of things. As a
Mhm.
growing startup, we believe a lot in marketing.
Okay.
And we believe knowing about others' perspectives and how things are being done.
Okay.
So we are also a B2B company. Like
Sure.
we cater to businesses, their
Sure.
legal needs, and we also would love to know about what is going on in the market. And if you face any legal issue, which we would never want that you face, but if you
Sure.
face any legal issue or any problem, we will be at your aid.
Amazing. Well, I think it's not so when we think legal हम लोग ये सोचते हैं कि हमें कोई notice आएगा कोई case करेगा, but it's more than that, right? I mean, like I think as startups, we are sometimes we sometimes end up ignoring the labor laws and like some licensing laws.
Hmm.
तो ये सब चीजों के लिए भी आपको help करते हैं आजकल तो POSH and all of that, when you're like a 5-10 people team, आप मतलब क्या क्या देखोगे? So yeah, so it's interesting to see a legal startup helping startups. So yeah, look
So
forward
we
to
are
it.
like a holistic solution, like all in all, we help
Mhm.
you with everything. From like we completely manage the legal portfolios and also if you have any internal drafting and everything, that is all covered in our services.
Right.
Aim was always to be a one-stop solution that
Okay.
we would be here and like if you have signed up with us, we will be solving all your legal needs from drafting to fighting in the court.
Interesting. And are you guys based out of Mumbai or where are you guys headquartered out of?
We are based out of Gurgaon,
Lovely.
but we work pan India through our empaneled lawyers.
Sure. Interesting. No, I mean, yeah, happy to know more offline whenever you have time.
Perfect. Next time when we visit Maharashtra, like we keep on visiting for our, like we have a lot of clients based out of there. So
Yeah,
we would love to meet you in person and have a
absolutely.
discussion.
Sure. I will be coming to Delhi in around 8th March. So, I mean, happy to catch up there as well.
Perfect, perfect. Surely. You can drop your number here or maybe send it to Kunal. Kunal was in touch with you. I think he
Sure.
must have your number.
Yeah,
So we can always get in touch, meet, and explore new synergies if possible.
absolutely. Absolutely. I would look forward to do that, yeah, Sadiq.
So thank you so much for your time.
And
Lovely meeting.
we will take your address from Kunal and we will send you the sweets as well. And I'll send you in the frozen format so that you can experience it from frozen to fresh.
Perfect, perfect.
All right.
Thank you so much. Really means a lot.
All right. Thank you,
You,
Sadiq.
you, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. All right.
Really
Thank you for having me.